For this trip, we've travelled to Shropshire to Blackthorn Fishery. Welcome to the Journeyman's Tales. Well, good evening. As you can see, we're bathed in beautiful warm sunlight. It is a bit cloudy up there, but at the moment the sun's out, it's really warm. And we're into the second week of June, and as I said at the last video, the next trip will be Blackthorn Fishery. And here we are, already set up in the South Lodge, rearing to go. The rods are out, put a little bit of bait in, not a huge amount. We'll play it on the just little and often for tonight and see what occurs. There's been quite a few decent fish coming out, so we'll see what happens. But the good thing is they haven't spawned as yet. Good as in they're not spawning at the moment. I mean, it would have been all right if they were spawning last week, but they haven't spawned or started or looking at anything like it at the moment. So fingers crossed they behave themselves this week so we can continue fishing. But I did say the next trip would be Blackthorn Fishery, but I did actually sneak in an overnight at my local syndicate. But it was very busy there, and I did one night blanking, but the following afternoon, evening, the fish were really shoaling up really tightly in mid-water between me and the island, and I think you could more or less walk across their backs. They're obviously getting ready to seriously spawn, and it was getting quite busy up there, so I decided to make an early exit. But as I was packing away, the island rod went off, and I had presumably what was one of the new stockies. But I unhooked it. I didn't get it out. I unhooked it in the water and released it straight from the net to keep the stress down to a minimum. But I think the following day, I was there on a Thursday, and I think on the Friday, Martin closed the fishery, and they spawned over the weekend. And I think it was only last Wednesday they reopened the fishery. But as I say, they haven't spawned here yet. Hopefully they don't start this week, so we can continue fishing. And there's been quite a few of the good upper fish come out. There's at least 140 come out. Some of the good mid-30s have come out. So hopefully we haven't left it too late or too early and we're spot on. And we're covering all bases here. Anyway, the rods are out. I put a little bit of bait out, not a huge amount, and we'll see what tonight brings and assess it tomorrow, really. Anyway, relax time. I hate rats. On the last trip they were eating my landing nets, 2 of them. This trip they're trying to chew their way into the bait box. Nearly in, but not quite. Fantastic, isn't it? Little darlings. Well, it's now Tuesday afternoon. It's incredibly hot. It was a very quiet night, unfortunately. So I've just put out, I don't know, about half a kilo on each spot with a bit of pellet mixed in. And there's nothing wrong with the rigs. I'm not going to lose confidence in what I'm actually doing and how I'm presenting it. I left one rod on the spot. I put the right hand rod short and the left hand rod off to the island, and I'll leave them there till, I don't know, early evening maybe, before putting them back out on the spot. I haven't seen anything moving at all this morning. May have spooked one when I was reeling in one of the rods fairly close in, but apart from that, all is quiet with the world. Now what I want to do is try and convert these pop-ups into wafters. Now they're not particularly big, but they are extremely buoyant. Just want to get the bait just that little bit closer to the bottom, so it'll just hover above a size 4 hook. And I want the hook lie flat on the bottom. I don't want it up in the air at all. So I'm just gonna drill a, I don't know what that is, about 3mm hole, 3/4 of the way through. And then with some warmed up putty, just get it balanced right. I can always trim the pop-up down a little bit to get rid of some of the excess buoyancy if necessary. So that putty now will go over the top of the hook swivel. Right, so I'm going to push the needle through, but supporting the end with my index finger. Go slowly so you don't jab yourself overly. And then we just pull the swivel into the putty. Blob it off in the usual way. Now what I want it to do is to just sit that on the bottom like that. I don't particularly want the hook balancing on its point. I want it on there, and then I can test that in the water and obviously just trim the pop-up down so I get the right buoyancy that I want. Welcome to Grass Strimmer's World. No, it's not, it's Journeyman's Tales. Well, we're now halfway through the trip. We've done 2 nights, and needless to say, I'm blanking, despite my best efforts. I'm doing everything I know is good. All the rigs are good, the bait's good. It's just not happening. Now I'm putting out spod towards the middle over the 2 of the rods, and one off to the left slightly, as recommended by the bailiff when I got here, which are fish spots I've fished before really, and it's slicking up now and again. In fact, it's been slicking up since we've been here really, and casting my mind back to when I was here blanking in August, the same thing was happening. What's making it do it, I've no idea. I get the feeling it'd be slicking up whether I was putting bait in or not. Now, whether it's small fish mooching around the area, if it is carp with their heads down over the area, there's no signs of bubbling, although it's difficult to see because of the wind on the water. But they're certainly not picking up any of the baits. Now, I know they're not particularly easy fish to catch here, but with that amount of slicking that's been going on, you'd have thought something would have made a mistake and picked up something with a hook attached to it. Anyway, that's not happened. So I've just spent half an hour putting out a fair bit of bait, well, a fair bit of bait for me anyway, over the 2 spots. I'm going to keep it the same for tonight, but if nothing changes tonight, then I'm going to vary the hook baits to something I'm more used to using, and hoping against hope that that might pick up something. In the meantime, it's grass strimming time. Catch up with you soon. Just coming into the final evening, and not a lot to report really. It's been quiet all day after a quiet night. I did do a bit of reverse zigging, because you're not allowed to zig on here, because all the other evenings there's been 1 or 2 fish, not big fish, just moving back and forwards between me and the island on the right hand side of the swim, but not this evening or this afternoon. So I've given that up. Anyway, I put the rods out for the night. I put one off round to my left by the island, one straight out on the baited spot I've been fishing all week, and then I put one in the margin on my right hand side. And fingers crossed, nothing came out last night, so that means nothing's come out all week. And it's done that to me before here, very strangely. It just has a habit of completely shutting up for some reason or other. It's not that they're getting ready to spawn, because they're not bunching up or anything, they're not shoaling up anywhere, or it's not obvious that they're shoaling up anywhere. But there we are. We'll see what the night brings, but I don't know. The weather's cracking, can't fault that, but we'll see. Well, sadly that was another quiet night, despite the weather being perfect really. It was overcast, it was warm. I think there'd been a drop in barometric pressure, a little bit anyway. Bit of drizzle in the air, perfect conditions. Fish still haven't spawned. They don't look to me as if they're getting too close to spawning at the moment. But that's all the excuses. Nothing to report, unfortunately. Slowly packing away, and this is a last minute run with the rods on the ground. I'm done. Anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Don't forget to press that bell icon to get notifications of when the next video is coming out. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Cheers for now.